Please, Canada, please start hiring again. Do something. I can't keep spending all day on Indeed and all day handing out resumes and all day calling people and all day emailing people for no response.
I swear, I'm gonna lose it. If I see one more LinkedIn post saying nobody wants to work anymore, I'm gonna fucking break into their office and start working against their will. That's illegal, you can't do that. So is posting a job for minimum wage and requiring 15 years of experience.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about the job market in Canada. So we're going to be hearing views of people that have posted on TikTok, Instagram, on YouTube complaining about their experience in the job market in Canada. So this is going to give us an idea of what it is like. I'm sure some of us have experienced it. Some of you have experienced the issues in the job market. People complaining there are no jobs, immigrants complaining of no jobs or no befitting jobs. We even have citizens complaining about the same thing, some accusing immigrants of taking their jobs and all that. So let's get right into it.
Doing wrong. I have been applying for a minimum of 10 to 25 jobs every single day for the last 3 months, and I've been doing it consistently. I haven't even received a rejection letter. It says, thank you for applying, and then no word. There's no application status, there's nothing. My last real job, they fired me because I didn't want to take advantage of small business. I have gotten calls and stuff, and it's always, oh, you're overqualified, but then other jobs I'm underqualified. What is it? I am very proud to be Tamil, by the way, but on my resume I don't put my last name anymore because it is very traditional, and I don't even want that affecting my, if people are not going to even talk to me. And then on top of that, everything is expensive. I don't even want to do much with my money. I just want to be able to take care of my dog. Don't worry, I'm not going to cry on camera. Okay, so I have a problem with being too honest, apparently. So I've been working on it by not speaking. I don't know what else to do. Do you know how embarrassing it is to move back to your family's house at the age of 26? I thank God every single day for not having a kid. A kid would obviously be a blessing, but I couldn't imagine what other people are going through with kids. The stupid thing about this is I hate crying.
Okay, so we've heard about this one and complaining about no jobs applying, and she has come to the conclusion of removing her last name. That's something I never thought about, because whoever does, most of us have traditional names that from the CV already, from your resume already, they already get to know who you are. Like, you're not Canadian, you're not part of them, so in my own case, my first name and my last name are very, very traditional names. So am I going to change my name? I'm not going to change my name. So I've never heard about this. I just feel, that's something. So do resumes allow for just first name? And I can't change my last name just because I'm looking for a job. So can I just put a first name in my resume? I don't know what she's talking about. And again, she talked about moving back home at the age of 26. No, that's something nobody prays for. You've left home, your parents are happy that, oh, Saadatu is now on her own, she's independent and all that, and then suddenly you have to come back home. Your room may have been given out to someone else. It's awkward. We just don't pray for that, So this is not just a situation of going back home, like going back to where you left because you don't have a job. It could be going back home, going back to live with a friend, going back to the street, living in your car. It could be very, very terrible. So something we don't pray for.
Please, Canada, please start hiring again. Do something. I can't keep spending all day on Indeed and all day handing out resumes and all day calling people and all day emailing people for no response.
Oh my god. So this guy he has had it up to here. Like, he's so frustrated. Like, he's so tired of submitting resumes. Nobody's calling him. Nobody's saying anything. Spending his whole time on the job search engine and nothing is happening. Please give this guy a job. He needs a job, please. Yeah. Yeah. 1 year in Winnipeg, no job. Is it possible? Is it a Winnipeg thing? I also know somebody that has been applying for jobs in Manitoba here for like 2 years and she didn't get a job. So is it a Manitoba thing or is it a Canada thing? Do you know anybody that has been actively applying for jobs for over a year and has not gotten anything? Please let me know in the comment section. Let me know if it's a Manitoba thing or it's Canada wise.
Do not understand how employment works in Canada. I literally scheduled an interview today for 10 a.m. It was confirmed and I arrived at the location at 10 a.m. They tell me to wait and I've been waiting for 40 minutes. 40 minutes and nobody still showed up. And that's when I was like, you know what? I value my time. I mean, like, if I was late for an interview 40 minutes, they probably would not hire me. So why is it okay for the employer to be late 40 minutes? Even more than that, probably, if I stayed for longer. So I just sent them a message saying like, hey, I have showed up and I have been waiting for 40 minutes and I'm sorry, but I value my time. So if you want, we can reschedule this interview for the time that is more convenient for you, because I cannot be spending my whole day just waiting for you to show up. Like, how weird is that? Like, I don't understand how this is considered an okay behavior for an employer. Like, you pick the time where you want, when you want to do an interview. So do a time that is convenient for you. I totally understand if the wait is like 10, 15, 20 minutes, up to 30 minutes. Okay, that's acceptable. But anywhere beyond that, that's just rude. That's just rude. It makes me not want to work for your company if you treat your employees like that. So just let me know if I'm kind of being irrational or is this just a normal thing in Canada?
Yeah, for this one, I don't really understand. Did she get the timing wrong? Did she get the date wrong? Like, if an employer tells you this is the time for the interview, then they should be ready for you. I've heard of some interviews that the job requires you to be a patient person. So when they call you for an interview, they test your patience. So they try to delay you to keep you for long. And I learned that maybe the last 2-3 people that wait are just automatically going to get that job. But in this case, the story didn't end that way. So I don't know what happened here. So this really doesn't show that there is job or there is no job in Canada. In her own case, she went for an interview and then they didn't show up. Nobody showed up and she was not interviewed and she was frustrated about it. So let's go to the next video.
Is anyone else applying to jobs and going through the exact same thing? A job posted this week, over 100 applicants. Posted 5 hours ago, over 100 applicants. Okay, this is crazy. 1 hour ago, over 100 applicants. I actually feel like applying on LinkedIn and Indeed is dead. Well, it's alive. You'll just be applying against thousands of people. In 2025, I think I'm just going to be prioritizing networking, meeting people in person, making meaningful connections, and also private job boards. If you're in Toronto, the platform that I'm going to be joining is called Terra. Right now, it's just on early sign up. It's a networking app that's coming to Toronto where we're going to be able to see events in real time and you're going to be able to match with people who actually have the same.
So this thing happens a lot where you see a job is posted like 2 hours ago and then you see 1,000 people have applied and you'll be like, what's my chance when over 1,000 people have applied for this job within this short period of time? What's my chance? That you just lose hope, like you won't get the job. You'll be like, how come hundreds of people are applying for this job within a day? So that shows a lot of people are chasing one job. So it just kind of gives you a picture like, hey, there's no job in this country at all. There is no job.
I've applied, I think, for every job on earth. I've sent a million messages, followed up, begged, nothing. You just gotta be persistent. Employers love when you check in every day. Oh yeah, you think? You think Walmart's sitting there going, Oh my god, this guy emailed us 47 times about stocking shelves. We should promote him to CEO. It's about standing out. You gotta show them that you have the skills. Skills? I applied to be a janitor, and they asked if I could perform brain surgery. Maybe they just wanna know you could handle pressure. Bro, it's a mop. What pressure? I literally need to know less things for this job. Not to be fucking prepped for a medical emergency in aisle 5. Sounds like you just need more experience. You know what I mean? More experience? How? What am I supposed to intern as a fucking unpaid bathroom cleaner first? That's actually not a bad idea. I swear, I'm gonna lose it. If I see one more LinkedIn post saying nobody wants to work anymore, I'm gonna fucking break into their office and start working against their will. That's illegal. You can't do that.
Yeah, it's illegal. You can't just go into people's office and work against their will. So I understand this guy's frustration. He has applied for so many jobs and he's not getting call back. He's not getting response. This is the same thing that runs through our minds when we apply for jobs and we don't hear anything, because you think you have the skill, you think you have the experience, you're persistent enough, you stand out, you feel you, but nothing is coming out. So it is really, really frustrating. I understand your pain, guy, but please don't go into their office and work against their will. This is ridiculous.
There is a way to persuade that.
So the next one we're going to look at is quite different. So this person is talking about the opportunities you have when you're not currently working. So when you are unemployed, it's difficult for you to get a job compared to when you're currently working. So let's take a look at that.
So recruiters only want to find people who are currently working. They don't like working with people unemployed.
This is absolutely true. As a 20-year career coaching veteran and former staffing and recruiting executive, I can tell you that a good number of recruiters will discriminate against you if you are unemployed. But one, I want to tell you where that's coming from, and two, I want to give you some workarounds. So first of all, understand that normally it's not the recruiter that feels that way. They're actually getting advised from the hiring manager that they report to. So the higher ups have said to this recruiter, look, we don't want to hire anybody that's currently unemployed for the reasons that were outlined in that video, and especially in this market. Okay, so that's coming from a higher up, and that recruiter has no say. They just have to do what they're told to do. But that being said, there are a couple of things you can do to get around this and get your shot. And that is to really pay attention to what you're putting on that LinkedIn profile. For example, please don't put the green open to work circle around your headshot. They're not even going to open your profile if they see that. And same thing in the headline. If you put open to opportunities or seeking new opportunities, not going to get looked at. You need to learn how to keyword optimize the headline. And then more importantly, when they open your profile, you need to know exactly what to put in the about section so that they have what I call the check mark moment. If you do your about section correctly, what happens is they skim it and their brain goes, check, 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 check. Oh, this person checks all the boxes I was told to look for by the hiring manager. So that when they get down to your work history and see you're not currently working, now they're like, ooh, but they've only been out of work a few months and they check all the boxes. I'm going to pitch them anyways. So there is a way to persuade that recruiter to look at you if you game the system correctly on LinkedIn. But let me do you one better, because there's actually a way to get past all of this, and it's called your brand. When you are between gigs, I hate using the word unemployed. I think it's such a negative term. I say between gigs. When you are between gigs, you cannot lead with your resume or your LinkedIn profile for the reasons just discussed, because your brand appears damaged. I know you're not damaged, but it appears damaged or lesser than. So we don't want to lead with that part of your brand. We need to lead with the part of your brand that's going to get the hiring manager and the recruiter excited about you, so that when they see the resume and the gap in employment, they've got rose-colored glasses, they overlook it because they're really excited about you. Brand is a game changer. And I know this because every single day inside my program, I have clients who've been out of work 6 months, a year, 2 years. My personal record was somebody who was out of work for 4 years, actively looking. And once they led with brand and understood brand strategy and how you get the brand in the hands of recruiters and hiring managers, they realized, oh my gosh, this is it. This is what's getting me those interviews and ultimately those job offers. And this is happening every single day. Because that pathway or that channel that you're using right now where you apply online, you're immediately being screened out. Why? Because you're between gigs. But when you learn different pathways, an alternative pathway, and how to lead with brand so that they connect with you first, you can shape what they think about you and how they see you. And this, chef's kiss, this is how it's getting done every single day. It's just a better way to look for work. So you can get around this problem, but you have to do it differently. You have to lead with brand. Okay. And I hope that helps and that made sense. And certainly if you'd like to learn how to do this, you know that I would love to help you. My team and I are helping people like you every single day. And you can try it for free because most people are like, job search, career coach, why would I work with you? Well, to learn how to do branding.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys understand what this lady is trying to say. So if you are unemployed, which she's trying to explain, like you're in between gigs. If you're currently unemployed, on your LinkedIn profile, you don't want that to be the first thing your prospective employer sees. Like if you apply for a job, they go into your LinkedIn profile and they want to see more about you, right? So if they go in and the first thing they see is looking for a job, looking for opportunities, because there's a way you could tag your picture on LinkedIn where you put open to work, open to opportunities, it throws them out. It just throws them out that, oh, this person doesn't have a job currently, this person is currently unemployed, they need somebody that is employed. There's something about it to just show like, oh, this person may have a gap, he's not coachable, like he has left job for some time, like we need somebody currently working, somebody that has current experience that could just apply to the next job he's applying for. So if it shows that you're not working, it just gives you a lower chance of being selected. It just gives the recruiter a chance to just throw your CV out, you understand? So what she's trying to say is, do not put that headshot that shows open to work on your LinkedIn, remove it, and then lead with a brand, meaning showcase what you can offer, showcase your skills, showcase your experiences, the past ones you have, show everything so that when they are checking that, they will be checking their checklist. Okay, yes, this person is this. And then when they go to your job experience, they see that, oh, you've left a job, like you're currently not working. It will just give them an idea that, oh, okay, this person really checks the boxes, but she's currently not employed. Let's just give her a chance. Unlike if they see that is the first thing you don't have a job, it won't give them the opportunity to see all what you can do. You understand? I hope this makes sense. So if you have a profile on LinkedIn, go look at it because recruiters go there. If you're currently looking for a job, you always notice that people are viewing your LinkedIn profile. Places you're applying to, take time to check your LinkedIn. So make sure your LinkedIn is properly done. You don't have that headshot that shows open to work because recruiters don't want somebody that is currently not working. In most cases, they want somebody that is actively working. So if you don't have a job currently, you want to showcase your skills, you want to showcase that the job description you can offer, it's there on your about you, what they need to know about you. The first thing they should see is not that you're unemployed, you're reducing your chances. I hope that makes sense.
You guys cannot put your resume on Indeed. Like, I can't even stress this enough. Like, Indeed is not the only place that you should be putting your resume. I'm telling you, if you live in Ontario, especially if you live in the GTA, you cannot be putting your resume only on Indeed. You will not get called back.
Okay, so it doesn't make sense if the only place you're looking for a job is on Indeed. Yeah, Indeed is popular. A lot of people look for jobs and they actually get jobs on Indeed. I got all my jobs through Indeed. Yeah, I got 2 of my jobs on Indeed. But you get to know that there are a lot of different platforms where you could put your CV, where you could also look for jobs, because I don't really understand. There's some jobs that have been posted on Indeed that looks like that ghost jobs, and I'm going to be making a video after this on ghost jobs. So that being said, there are different websites you could put, even within your local community. There are different smaller job platforms that you could put your jobs. You could put your resume to look for jobs. So we have Indeed, which is popular. We have Monster, we have Glassdoor. Within your local community, there are different ones that you could put your resume and look for jobs. So don't just concentrate on Indeed. That's what she's saying, especially if you're living in the GTA area in Ontario. So something you should look at. So if you're not even living where she's saying, please don't restrict yourself to just Indeed.
I'm sorry, anyone saying that the job market is not that bad, you're lying. When I came back from working for 4 years in China, I worked as a manager for 40 teachers, 7 English campuses, over 3,000 students who were making millions of dollars a year in my, in our budgeting. And I was very successful in my role. I have clear credentials, etc., to back that all up. I still managed for more than 1 year living in Canada to not find any employment over $23 an hour. The most pay I got was from a summer camp that is a non-for-profit arts and culture center. So obviously they're not going to pay me a lot, but I love that camp very much. And I've been a ride or die for them, and I would do it for not that much money anyway. But I digress. I was used to getting a very, very decent salary before and had an immense amount of responsibility. And in Canada, I could barely even get interviews for entry-level teaching positions at a English teaching center that could guarantee like 10 to 15 hours per week if I was lucky at $20 an hour. I'm telling you, that is the only jobs I could find, because easier jobs with less skills required wouldn't even give me a shot. And management positions or senior management positions, which is what I was qualified to do, were never going to hire me having not worked for their company or not worked in the Canadian teaching system for whatever reason. So after a year of literally barely surviving, I decided that I was just going to do my own thing. I do own my own business now. I have my own little teaching school with my own little private clients, and I'm making about as much money for less physical class time, but obviously it's still not enough. I have way more freedom and happiness in my soul, of course, but it has taken me like almost a whole other year just to make my business make me any money, like not just barely surviving, you know what I mean? To any of you out there who are seeing people say things like, if you want to get more money, if you want to do good for yourself, like you just got to work harder, apply more places, you got to hustle. Yeah, a lot of people are hustling, and a lot of people are still seeing no results from that hustle. And that's the hard part. That's the disheartening part. Not everyone can just get jobs because so-and-so's mommy or who or whatever introduced them to it, which is where nearly all the positions I hear of how they were introduced to that position was through a family member, through a friend, through something. So once again, if you're struggling, if you feel like it's really, really difficult to find a job right now, it is as difficult. It is as difficult as you think it is. So give yourself some patience, give yourself some love, because it's tough out there for everyone, okay? Including those who are university educated, including those who are not, including those who have a skills training. Everything is difficult right now.
So he couldn't get a job, and even when he got the job, they were not paying him what he was earning before, and he was not even just getting interviews. So yeah, it's valid. There is no job, and he had to do his own job himself. He had to open his business, and well, he's doing well. At least it's the first year. So if it's something you can do, also just put your hands on other businesses while you're looking for a job. Yeah, a job gives you steady stream of income, but do not just rely on jobs alone. You have skills, you have experiences that you could do a business on your own at the side. So even when you get that job, you have the business at the side, and who knows, the business may blow up and you don't need the 9-to-5 job anymore. I'm always an advocate of doing your own business while you have a 9-to-5.
In the past, when I would talk to people that I know who was out of work, who told me they were out of work for like 2, 3, 4, 5 months, even though I try hard to be not judgmental, there would always be a part of me that was thinking, you gotta be sabotaging yourself. There's something that you're doing to purposely not be hireable. Like, I wouldn't want to judge, but like, it was so hard to believe that someone who was actively looking for a job and who was qualified for a lot of jobs could not find a job. But I find myself now in the position where it is near to impossible to get a job in the city. Now, obviously, when you're in the market for a new job, you want to try to find a job that is similar to the previous job that you had, so that you can utilize your skill set and your, education and your experiences to be successful at your new job. So you don't have to go through all of this vigorous training and all of this stuff. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of the times when you try to find a job that was similar to the previous job that you had, there is going to be so many people that are equally, if not more qualified than you, more education, more work experience, better personality, can hold their fucking breath underwater longer than you, can run longer distance than you, that will make them a better candidate and will allow or make the hiring manager choose them over you. So after being rejected time and time again, you then look at the other side of the train track and say, you know what, let me go after a job where I might be overqualified. Maybe I might have to take a pay cut, but at the end of the day, the main goal is to get some sort of employment. But the problem you face with applying for a job that you're overqualified is that the hiring manager or the person that's, responsible for hiring, whatever, they look at your resume, they see your credentials, they see your work experience, they see your skill set, they see your education, and immediately think that because you're so overqualified, you're not serious about the job. The second that you find something better, you're out the door. So why waste time training you? Why waste time, why waste time and energy in you when you are not serious about staying long term? So on one end of the spectrum, you go after jobs that you are qualified for, and then obviously someone that's way more qualified gets it. And then when you go after jobs that you're overqualified for, then they're scared to choose you because they fear that you're just going to leave them. So then you're stuck in the middle. No job, wilting away like a fucking houseplant in the middle of winter. I swear, the longer you go with being unemployed, the more desperate you get, and your expectations dwindle. When I first was looking for a job, I was very specific in what I was looking for. I looked at the pay, I looked at the, obviously the qualifications, I looked at what I actually be doing. And at this point, after facing so much rejection, I will take a job fucking milking cows. I will take a job stomping fucking grapes to make wine at this point. Like, I say all of this to say this, just looking for a job is depressing, and it's like a lose-lose situation. You put in the effort, you put in the time, you put in the dedication for nothing. So I feel for everyone out there that is going through that, who have been out of work for months on end, I feel for you, okay? And I pray that you find your dream job, and I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna go fucking have a glass of wine with some gummy bears.
Oh my, so this is so true. This is so relatable. So now she's talking about two things. You're looking for a job, you want to work in a field where you have experience, but somehow you're not chosen because the employer has better candidates, maybe with better qualification, more experience, or better personalities than you, and then you don't get a chance to get that job. On the other side of the spectrum, you decide, oh, okay, I'm not getting a job in the area where I want. I will go get a job in a place where I'm overqualified. So maybe you usually earn maybe $30 per hour, and you decide to bring down your standard to go for a job that you could earn $20 per hour. And then the prospective employer looks at your resume and think, oh, this person is not going to take this job seriously. They just want this job as a stepping stone. When they get a better job, they're going to leave, and then they throw your resume out. You don't get that job. So it's just a game of being desperate, especially if you're currently not working. You become so desperate. It's better when you're still working and you're looking for another one. At least you're earning something, right? But when you're out of job and you're looking for a job, you tend to want to take something lower, take a job that is not even up to your standard, because you need to find the job, you need to pay the bills, right? So yeah, it's not a situation where anybody wants to be. And if there's somebody out there in this current situation, I feel you, we feel you, and it's something that it's happening to a lot of people. You're not alone.
If you are unemployed, I just heard the best job search tip that I've probably ever heard in all 3 of my layoffs in all the years that I've been dealing with this. Okay, so we were just on my Slack community call, and there was a former HR professional recruiter on there, she's currently laid off looking for work. And someone else on the call asked the question of, how do you know, how to structure your day? Like, we have all this time, it's hard to prioritize. It's hard to figure out when you are doing meaningful work, when you're spinning your wheels, and then also how to prioritize yourself and your mental health, etc. So we go through like our conversation, and people are sharing what they do and how they approach the job search and how they make sure that when they're actually focused on it, the work that they're doing is meaningful, etc. So this woman, who is a former HR professional / recruiter, she said that when she was working, Monday morning she'd post the job, and she would just let applications come in all day, pretty much through Tuesday morning, and she'd see how many people applied. Tuesday was the day that she would go through all the applications. And she's like, that was the day. And she told us she didn't use ATS. There were certain questions that like would knock out a candidate. So if there was like a specific thing they were looking for and you didn't have it, you were turned away. Like if it was, something with a specific role, education, whatever credential qualification. So those people get knocked out. But she would personally go through all the resumes. So that was Tuesday. She said Wednesday and Thursday, she's making phone calls to the qualified candidates to set up interviews for the following week. And then Friday, if she didn't feel like she got qualified candidates or if not enough people applied, she would repost the job. So she said the way she approaches her search now on the other side is Monday, she like power applies to jobs. Like she's applying to every job, she's applying to things through Tuesday morning. Knowing and understanding that on the other side of the table, Tuesday is the day people are probably reviewing the applications. And then she said on Wednesday and Thursday, she doesn't apply for jobs because she's like, that's the day that they're making the calls for the following week. So they're not looking at anything. They're just looking at the people that have already applied. So sure, you can apply on those days, but it might not go anywhere. You might as well wait till next Monday or Friday when they repost the job. If they repost the job, it's because they haven't gotten any qualified candidates, and they're hoping that if they repost the job on Friday, they'll get the people on Saturday and Sunday that maybe already are employed and like are looking, but they don't have the time to do it during the week. This was genius. So she essentially said Monday, she power applies through Tuesday morning. Tuesday, she kind of slows down. Wednesday, Thursday, she gets to take a break from that and does other things. That's when, she gets some other stuff done. Maybe she works on things. Maybe she has a side hustle, whatever. And then Friday is when she reviews any reposts. She also shared that she knows that Indeed pushes jobs to the top that are reposted on Mondays. I have not heard such tangible advice in the 3 layoffs, in the 3 years that I've been going through this, where it's like, yeah, this is how you should structure your day based on my experience on the other side of the table. So if you're a hiring manager, recruiter, person in charge, I'm going to ask you, is this how you structure your week? Because if this is...
You know what's worse than getting ghosted by a guy? Getting ghosted by a job you really wanted. Since March is ending, let's talk numbers. I applied to 50 jobs, all in my field, the jobs that I actually qualified for, out of which 20 rejection email, at least they had the courtesy to reject me. And rest of the 30 jobs straight up ghosted me. No email, no update, but it's fine. I'm staying positive. Maybe some of them will get back to me in the beginning of April, but I am done waiting. I'm changing things in the month of April. So the plan is to apply for jobs that requires less work experience or maybe even no work experience required. Second, I'm planning to apply for different sectors because for all this time I was looking into only HR. I want to change things around. Finally, I want to save all of these datas because this will actually help me to plan my next move. So let's see how things are going in the month of April.
Okay guys, so at this point I didn't know the battery of my mic had died, so I was just talking to myself. That is why it is you can't hear me. So I hope you enjoyed this video about jobs in Canada. So there is jobs, there is no jobs, but you see it all depends on individual experience. I hope this video made sense. I hope you've learned 1 or 2 things about, number 1, not using the open to work option on LinkedIn, doing something else while looking for a job, not only applying on Indeed, using other websites to look for job. And yeah,
basically that. I hope this video made sense. If it does, please watch my next one about ghost jobs. That is very, very important, especially if you're looking for jobs. See you in my next video. Bye.